Never stop reading Bible. Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take your articles, research, and notes and distill them into the most important nuggets of knowledge. Today, we're unearthing the profound wisdom of the book of Lamentations, a text you actually asked us to explore. Now, the author's name isn't mentioned in the text itself, but tradition strongly points to the prophet Jeremiah.
That's right. And you really have to picture it. Jeremiah seeing Jerusalem just completely devastated by the Babylonians. He's pouring out this deep, deep pain, but also desperately pleading for God's mercy. This book, it's really more than just history. It's this raw, poetic cry. It's full of sorrow, absolutely, but it's also, yearning for repentance, for restoration. It's structured as 5 powerful poems. Each chapter, they cover, Jerusalem's destruction, God's intense anger, prayers for mercy, the awful siege, and then finally this plea for restoration.
Okay, right. Let's unpack this then. What's our mission today as we dive into this ancient cry? It sounds like a really painful journey we're tracing, from collapse to maybe a flicker of hope.
Precisely. Yeah, our mission is to see how this ancient expression of despair, this really deep grief, also becomes this profound testament to, resilience, repentance, and the enduring power of faith, even when everything seems utterly lost. We want to explore how it helps you navigate complex information and maybe find meaning, even when facing overwhelming situations.
So, Chapter 1 hits us right away, Judah's existential crisis, you said. And Jeremiah's personal lament seems to merge with Jerusalem's own sorrow, like the city itself is crying out. What's the crucial insight there? What does that tell us right at the start?
Well, what's fascinating, I think, is that act of personification. It's quite radical. Jeremiah isn't just lamenting for Jerusalem. It feels like he becomes Jerusalem, embodying its suffering. Kind of blurs the line between his individual pain and this huge national tragedy. It gives us a framework, really, for understanding how this deep, empathetic grief can cross boundaries. It's not just observing history. It's a shared experience he's conveying.
Okay. So after that raw anguish, Chapter 2 seems to lay out the specific reasons, often quite brutally, for Judah's fall. It emphasizes God's thorough wrath. It doesn't hold back. What's the significance of focusing on such intense divine anger? Is it purely punishment, or is there something deeper going on?
That's a great question. I think this chapter shows this sort of unflinching precision of divine accountability. It really challenges that tendency we have to just blame external factors. Instead, it forces this confrontation, between Israel's choices and God's just response, painful as it was. It's a stark reminder, really, that actions have these profound spiritual consequences. It's not just random bad luck.
Right. Then Chapter 3, you said this is where it gets really interesting. The focus shifts to the prophet's own personal lament and confession. Jeremiah really identifies with Israel's plight here. What does focusing on that individual perspective, right in the middle is this huge collective tragedy, what does that tell us about processing grief and maybe finding hope?
Well, Jeremiah's personal suffering, his desperate hope for grace, his call to repentance, even his very human desire for vengeance against his enemies, it humanizes the whole immense tragedy. It offers these layered insights into how individuals navigate collective pain. It shows a really complex, relatable human response. He's not just an observer, he's in it. And that makes his eventual hope for grace feel even more, poignant and earned,
Yeah, that makes sense. Then Chapter 4 gives us this vivid, almost horrifying picture of the suffering, especially the famine. It feels so visceral. And then Jeremiah really goes after the political and religious leaders. He doesn't pull any punches. What's that sharp critique reveal beyond just pointing out human failure?
It does more than just describe the agony, yeah. It delivers this powerful rebuke specifically to leaders for their disbelief. It highlights how they misplace their reliance, putting trust in diplomacy and human strategies instead of God for their salvation and safety. So this chapter acts as a really stark warning about where true trust should ultimately lie. It's a deep theological critique of their leadership failures.
Okay. And finally, Chapter 5, the concluding lament. Jeremiah sort of lists Judah's tragedies again, but then prays for restoration. After all that pain, what's the ultimate message? Is there hope? What trust does he leave us with?
Well, despite the overwhelming sorrow that permeates the whole book, Jeremiah fundamentally, yes, addresses Israel's sin. But he does it while also showing complete trust in God's faithfulness. Notice the words he uses frequently in this chapter. Inheritance, ancestors, ancient times. That's not just nostalgia. It underscores his deep reliance on God's eternal covenant relationship, his power. It proves that even in the absolute depths of despair, hope in God remains. It's built on this timeless foundation.
Today's Deep Dive was brought to you by the Center Studio.